Hello, this is the trade site Forex Market Preview and International Economic Data Roadmap for the week beginning Sunday, August 4th, 2013, ending Friday the 9th of August. Hope you had a good trading week. This is going to be a little short, I'm pretty sure, this week, simply because we are in the August doldrums for Forex, and we went half size this last week, and we're going to stay that way for a while now until volume picks up again and ranges pick up again, hopefully sometime right after the Labor Day weekend in early September. You never know exactly when that picks up, or unless we see a really good pickup of ranges in August at some point in time, but that's pretty uncommon. Usually Europe's on vacation more frequently in August, and things really slow down. And the week before this one, we definitely felt that. I felt like the ranges were really, really poor, and we just weren't getting any traction with our trades. So we go to half size to sort of protect ourselves from the risk of this lighter activity environment. Strangely, this week I actually had some decent range, and we'll show you how that worked out. So we actually ended up with net gains for the week, but overall I think August is still more likely to be a little bit slow. So here's the dollar index daily chart, and another point to make here is that we're really in a no man's land. We're between the static trend line down here, this red line, and one up here. This is exactly where we were back at the beginning of March. We've basically gone nowhere for many months. So we have had some moves, but in general we're in the middle of that area. That sort of puts us in neutral territory anyways. I'll point out the euro dollar on a daily chart, a little bit higher up near a static trend line. This is this green line. That'll be resistance if we get there. And then if we take a look also at the pound dollar, this one's a little more mid-range and exactly where we were back at the beginning of March. So it's more like the dollar index. So overall, it's not like there's any signals or chart patterns to really indicate that something's about to happen, and since we're in the middle of August, you know, all that adds up to sort of negative or boring activity. Here's the pound Swiss. I just want to point out this is the only one of the major pairs that we track that has had a buy signal. See the 13 secret buy signal back on Wednesday, and you can see the bounce off of that. So that signal working there. But other than that, you're not really seeing much in terms of action out of most of the pairs. Now let's take a look at the euro dollar. This is 30-minute bars, so you can see the whole week last week, and again, you can see what I'm talking about just coming into the week. Look at how poor the range were on Monday and Tuesday. Granted, we did have a two-day Fed meeting, and it was on the Fed announcement that things sort of started to swing around a bit, but Monday and Tuesday were really, really light. Thursday, we saw some movement. We made money there. Friday, we made money on the pound. I'll show you that one in a minute. But even if you look at that, the total range for the week, basically with 31.90 being the low and about 33.40 being the high, of 150 pips. And we had a couple days where the ranges were basically 60 pips. So again, this is just part of the Forex market. You can't put together, you don't sit down and trade by saying, ooh, I'm going to make a ton of money every day or every week. You have to understand the market itself, and when the market kind of gets like this, you need to adjust. And so we'll get through August, and hopefully things will pick up. You know, last year we sat out in half size anyways, the back end of the year, because of the fiscal cliff that was looming and all the uncertainty, and the Forex market really suffered. This year, I don't know that we have that as much. Certainly we still have the sequester going on, which doesn't help, but I think in general we should be able to see the normal pickup at some point in September. So we'll be looking for that. Here's the pound dollar. Traded about 300 pips of range. We caught this nice move on the NFP on Friday morning, just more by luck than anything, but it did work out for us. A little more range there, and that's why we had sort of the week that we had, which was not a bad week considering what we were expecting coming in. And even something like the Aussie here, look at that, 350 pips of range on the Aussie dollar, so that's not horrible either. All right, let's take a look at the economic data that's due out this week, as usual, brought to us by the Forex Factory calendar. And here's the Sunday data, bank holiday for Australia. Retail sales from Australia does come out Sunday night, though. Monday, Halifax, this is early hours, Halifax HPI out of the UK, services PMI out of broad European sector, Italy and Spain separately, Centex investor confidence, services PMI out of the UK, retail sales out of Europe. Canada's on a bank holiday on Monday. We've got ISM services out of the US at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Then Monday night, trade balance out of Australia, the AIG Services Index, job advertisements, HPI, rate announcement out of the Bank of Australia, the RBA, all early Tuesday here in the U.S. Leading indicators out of Japan, Italian industrial production, UK industrial manufacturing production, Italian preliminary GDP, German factory orders. Then we've got trade balance. This is one of our big three out of the U.S. and out of Canada. both coming out at 8:30 a.m. Tuesday. So we would be half size anyways Monday night going into Tuesday, which means we'll be less than half size ahead of that one. We did get a lot of big data out this last week. We had a 2-day Fed meeting. We had the first look at GDP for Q2, and we had the non-farm payroll data with unemployment on Friday. So that doesn't leave us with a lot. We still got CPI later on in the month. But in terms of economic numbers we have to dodge, we went through the brunt of it this week, and we actually did pretty well from a trading perspective. Here's the unemployment data out of New Zealand Tuesday night, AIG Construction Index out of Australia, home loans out of Australia. A lot of data out of Australia, it seems like, this week. European French trade balance out of Europe, 2:45 a.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday morning. CPI out of Switzerland, German industrial production out of Europe. Canada's got their IVPMI and building permits. U.S. has got crude oil inventories. It doesn't matter to the Forex market. 10-year bond auction. Consumer credit. Japan's got current account and bank lending. Australia's got employment data and their unemployment rate. Monetary policy statement from the last Bank of Japan meeting going into Thursday. Trade balance out of China. Switzerland's got their unemployment rate. German trade balance out of Europe. Bank of Japan's press conference. To discuss the minutes, we've got the unemployment claims out of the U.S. That's the weekly number Thursday morning, along with natty gas and 30-year bond auction that afternoon. Tertiary industry activity out of Japan, along with their money supply data at 7:50 p.m. Thursday night here in the U.S. China's got CPI and PPI. Japan's got a 30-year bond auction that night going into Friday. New loans out of China and their money supply. Consumer confidence out of Japan. Fixed asset investment, industrial production, retail sales out of China. A lot of China data out of China this week. We've got trade balance out of the UK, out of Italy, out of France's industrial production. We've got housing starts, unemployment data out of Canada, wholesale inventories out of the U.S. to wrap up the week. So it is a busy week, but that trade balance out of the U.S. will be probably the bigger data point of the week. No rate announcements to worry about. But again, we're going to be half size every night, a little less ahead of the trade balance number. It's just the way we do it here to kind of reel it in when the trading prospects are a little light, and we'll see how it goes. Hope everybody has a great weekend and a great trading week. We are starting a new lab, new software piece for our trading lab, which does allow you to use it on phones and mobile devices. We'll have an announcement about that this weekend. I hope to see you guys in the lab this week. Have a good weekend.